his name is Dirk Krampe. So Dirk Krampe reported today. He's pretty reliable when it comes to Borussia Dortmund stuff. He is like their guy. He reported that Real Madrid have told Haaland that we can't buy you this season, so wait one more season, stay with Dortmund, and then we'll sign you. And I've seen some Barca fans circulate this as very exciting news. So that's a thing that we can potentially talk about.
Papers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I found that very interesting because it sort of brought back those memories of the year where Bartomeu was going to say the year that Laporta instead became president and made the promise of bringing in David Beckham. And in the end, of course, Becks went to Madrid, and then Madrid had reportedly asked Ronaldinho to stay on. Madrid had reportedly asked Dino to stay on with PSG for another year, and it seems they're kind of they did similar with Neymar, where they asked him as well to stay another year with Santos. In the case of Dino with PSG, and then these players obviously end up signing with Barca. So if history's any indication, this has to be positive news if it's true, of course, for Barca's chances to sign Erling Haaland.
I think so this is interesting. I was thinking about this because what incentive would Haaland have to stay?
Yeah.
Well, I do feel like if there's anyone who would do that, it would be in a way Haaland, because he doesn't seem to be in a rush to get to the superstar, the place where the media circus is, the big team. And that kind of, just given the fact that he chose Dortmund instead of any other big club when he left Red Bull. And so for that reason, I was like, well, maybe he would consider something like that, because he does care about his career development and playing time. But at the same time, he's in a totally different place now than he was initially when he went to Dortmund. He can basically walk into there's no team that he's not going to walk into. Ironically, Real Madrid would probably be the trickiest one, because it's going to be really hard for him to coexist with Benzema and Mbappe and Vinicius. I'm not sure how that would work from a tactical fit. So if unless he really, really wants Real Madrid and no one else, which from what we've kind of found out, that La Liga's destination is Real Madrid is his preferred choice, but maybe because La Liga is his favorite destination, he would go to Barca instead. I don't know. But unless he really wants to go to Real Madrid and thinking, well, if I wait it out, then Benzema will be gone in a year or two as well, so I could, maybe that would make sense for me. I don't know. But it's something that I looked at more carefully because of the reliability of the report, and it didn't seem to just be a fluff piece from like Marca or some bullshit.
Yeah, and also, what really stands out in these kind of reports as well, or these stories, these rumors, let's call them that instead, is that they always talk about the people surrounding Haaland and how they are evaluating the option of going to Real Madrid as the most likely scenario to take place. So even with that being said, with this supposed request, let's say, that Real Madrid is putting forward to the Haaland camp, they're kind of evaluating, right? They're sort of mulling it over, thinking, well, maybe it is not a bad option. And so that's really the thing that stands out in these stories, that it does seem that the people surrounding Haaland, and you would have to assume that the player, therefore himself as well, are evaluating or are seeing the option of going to Real Madrid, and of course the project that Papa Flo is putting together there with Mbappe as the most likely or the most desired option. So there could still be a case where we see this option play out. Having said that, however, the only reason I can imagine Florentino asking Haaland to stick with Dortmund for another year is to let the Benzema contract run out, or what do you think the reason is? Because obviously, from a financial standpoint, as Tebas said himself, they can make this happen. They can bring in an Mbappe and a Haaland in the same summer.
It's a good question. My interpretation would be something like, and I don't know if this is true or not, there's an interpretation and a hunch. I think financially they could make it work, but I think it would be a request And if he says no to that, it wouldn't be like, oh, we're not going to sign you anymore this season. I think it's more of like, hey, if you did hold off for one more year, we can still put together the money then, but instead of splashing all of it now, and having you compete with Benzema, we could, maybe a year from now would make sense if you consider Dortmund. But if he came back and was like, now or never, I don't think the club would back down and be like, all right, we're never going to get you then. So that my interpretation would be that. It would be that they can still make it work financially this season with Mbappe and him, and probably some other filling pieces, to be honest. But I think they would probably pitch it to him another way first and see if he'd accept it or not. And if not, then they would put it together. That's what I feel.
So you're not worried when this story broke? It's not something that you're thinking, oh gosh, here we go again. We might see the same thing happen that we saw with Dino.
No, I didn't think of it that way. But also at the same time, I've been a little bit agnostic about this one because I don't know what's going to happen. I obviously want him at Real Madrid and not Barcelona, but I don't know if I can't pretend to know what's going to happen either way. So my expectations are not like Haaland is going to be a Real Madrid player. My expectation is Haaland might be a Real Madrid player, and if he is, great.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like disappointed when I saw the report. I just kind of looked around it and read between the lines a little bit.
Now, from a Madridista standpoint, do you guys see Haaland? I mean, does Barca even factor into the equation? Do you think it's more a battle between Madrid and a City or a Chelsea or a Bayern even? Although I think Bayern is not necessarily an option. Or yeah, you guys must be feeling pretty confident about your chances.
Partly because he himself has said that he wants to go to La Liga.
Yeah.
So for that reason, you almost kind of narrow it down to Real Madrid or Barcelona in that sense. But, that's not how football goes. Sometimes, a Man City can easily swoop in and he would fit right into their lineup given the way that, the fact that they actually could use a number 9 who cemented his place and stuff like that. But really beyond that, who is it? Like obviously PSG will always be in the discussion. They're going to be super pissed if they lose Mbappe and then they want to come in, they want to swoop in and
I don't think so.
You can't.
I really don't put PSG in the mix
because Haaland won't want to go there, or
because Mino himself, and okay, take his words with a grain of salt, but Mino himself said Erling will not choose the most financially attractive offer. This is not a matter of money.
Yeah,
he's gonna get paid. Mino's gonna get paid. They're all gonna get their money. Papa Haaland, Erling Haaland, an agent of Haaland. So regardless if it's a City, Chelsea, Madrid, Barca, they're gonna get their big bucks, and whatever PSG can put forward in the mix will easily surpass, I'm sure, the offers that any of those clubs can offer. But just the mere fact that Mino mentioned that, look, what is really important what is most important, what is on the top of the list is the sporting project. That's, where I quite frankly put PSG out of this equation, because Ligue 1 just simply doesn't have anything to offer for an aspiring player to win Ballon d'Or, Champions Leagues, yes, but be competitive on a week-to-week basis in one of the best leagues in the world. Ligue 1, does not factor into that.
You're pissing Leonardo off right now. He's taking notes. He's gonna come after you. Diego Godin is on the hit list.
He's gonna call me.
Yeah,
I have him in my contact as Leonardo PSG. So if he calls me,
you're ready.
I'm ready.
So for sure they're gonna make their attempt, right? They're not going to sit it out in that sense.
Sure.
But I do agree with you. I think that Haaland won't necessarily want to go there. But you know that they're just going to, if they can piss Real Madrid and Barca off in one go, they're gonna try to get that guy, especially after losing Mbappe.
Stupid money. Yeah, yeah. What was funny as well was to see this morning sort of the call it the repercussions or the consequences of this story breaking. That immediately there was an additional story that broke, and that was, if you were reading Marca Nas, it said Isaac is the option B for Real Madrid if Haaland fails. And if you're reading Sport and Mundo Deportivo, it was Isaac is the option B if Haaland fails. So it seems that, getting, well, he's obviously Swedish, but getting a Scandinavian striker is, is at the top of the list of the two clubs' priorities.
Hey, man.